Okay, we are going to take that lump of clay that we wedged the other day and center it on the potter's wheel. So the first thing we're going to do is take a little bit of water with our sponge, wet the wheel head just a little bit. We don't want it to be super wet, but we want it to be a little bit wet, and then stop the wheel. Take your round ball that you wedged and get it as close to the center as possible and give it a good little wiggle. Now what we're going to be doing is we'll get the wheel going as fast as it will go, add some water to the clay, water to our hands. Now centering is trying to push the clay right to the middle so that there are no bumps and lumps, so that when we go to open up the middle to make a hole in the middle and pull up the sides, it's completely centered. Okay, so it's a series of pressing downward with one hand and inward with the other hand. So I'm going to first of all press inward with my left hand, just this part of the hand right here, pressing in. That will make the clay come up. Pressing with this part of this hand, pressing down, that will make the clay come out. Now if I press down and then up, the clay is becoming centered. Up, the clay comes up, down, the clay goes down. Okay? What you want in the end is something that sort of looks like a gumdrop. Okay? Another way to center is to use both of the palms of your hands like so and push in and up. And then this part of your hand here goes on the top and it presses down, creating that gumdrop shape. Whenever you're touching the clay, you want to make sure that your elbows are anchored onto your leg. You're bent over so your nose is pretty much right over the center of the clay. Elbows anchored on something solid, make sure that when you're pressing into the clay, your hand is not moving around. The best way to center is to press with one hand only. So I'm going to press with this part of this hand and I'm going to anchor it with this one. Press in so it comes up, and I'm tightening all my muscles in my arm, my bicep, all the way up to my shoulder, even my stomach muscles. Then I'm going to press down with this part of my hand here and sort of catch it with this one so it comes around into that gumdrop shape. It's about making your muscles work together, up and down, until it stops moving around. And once your finger stops moving around, you have a lump of clay that's centered and you're ready to open it up and make it into a pot. Up and down. And every time you put your hands on the clay, you do it very gently. Every time you take your hands off the clay, you also do it very gently. If you take your hands off very abruptly, you can throw it off center. Okay? And once you have your lump of clay centered, you're ready to start opening it up and making a pot. This part of the process takes time. It takes practice, so don't be frustrated if you don't get it right off the bat. Centering is one of the harder things about throwing. So watch this video several times, and you can do it with two hands, or you can do it with one hand at a time. This one, then this one. Always with this part of the hand. Okay? Lots of water. Wheel as fast as it will go.